How can you create a stellar PA personal statement? A well-crafted, memorable statement is your golden ticket to a physician assistant school interview. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you what to include in your personal statement, common mistakes to avoid, and finally, I'll go over 2 full-length PA personal statement examples, and I'll tell you what makes them great. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Nadine Evans, an admissions associate at BeMo Academic Consulting. As you might already know, we help students with admissions to med school and other professional programs because we believe that everyone deserves access to higher education. That's why we give everything we learn in our consulting programs absolutely free on our YouTube channel, so make sure that you subscribe right now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you'd like us to help you with your PA school application, click on the link either above or below this video to schedule your free initial consultation. Your PA school statement will serve as your introduction to admissions committees. It's a way for you to demonstrate why you have chosen to pursue medicine and why you want to become a PA specifically. Admissions committees want to understand where your first interest in becoming a physician assistant began, what memorable experiences you've had since that moment, and what steps you've taken towards turning that initial interest into desire and passion for the profession. As with all types of personal statements, your personal statement must address the why behind the profession. So in this case, why do you want to be a PA? Your PA personal statement has to be honest. No 2 personal statements should be alike because each person has had their own set of experiences that have led them to want to pursue this vocation. So make sure that you're not trying to fabricate your statement or exaggerating any of your experiences. Instead, be honest and tell the admissions committees about your exposure to medicine, what you've learned, how you've grown, what you've accomplished, why that was important, and how all of these experiences led you to wanting to become a PA. Next, you want to highlight your skill set. So you want to be highlighting a few experiences. So we usually say 2 or 3 experiences. And these will be experiences that have helped you understand more about the life and work of a PA and ultimately helped solidify your decision to pursue this field. So think about your volunteering, your shadowing, and clinical experiences and reflect on any moments that stood out for you or were significant in your journey towards deciding on becoming a PA. Perhaps you participated in creating a treatment plan, or maybe a particular patient really stood out for you. Maybe you witnessed an interaction between a physician assistant and one of their patients during your shadowing, and that gave you some further insight into the profession. So overall, you just need to be able to answer why the PA is the best route for you and what you've done to prepare yourself for this career. Additionally, you can draw on related experiences and skills that you've developed that will help you reach your goals as a future PA. So as an example, if you want to work specifically with underserved communities and you've taken on volunteering opportunities that put you into contact with these communities, this is a great experience to include. If you want to work among immigrant or refugee communities and you took the time to learn a new language in order to better communicate with these individuals, then that not only shows initiative, but also your dedication towards effectively communicating with patients that you want to help serve in the future. The next step towards crafting your PA personal statement is to paint a picture. So the most successful PA personal statements are actually those that tell a story. Remember, your personal statement is not a recitation of your CV. Listing accomplishments, awards, and education will not interest the admissions committee members at all. And that's because all of that information is already available in your CV and elsewhere in your application. Remember, your personal statement is a piece of art, not a dry informational document. It should allow members of the admissions committees to gain insight into your personal story and take them on your journey towards becoming a PA. It's also important to remember to structure your story, so you don't want to be jumping from one point in time to the next or from one experience to the next without order, because that will only create a disjointed, unstructured essay. Instead, make sure that you tell your story chronologically, beginning with an introduction into your interest or exposure to medicine, then flow into a few significant experiences through your life, and end with a powerful conclusion that ties the entire essay together. Lastly, your statement needs to demonstrate that you are original. Despite what you might think, you are an original person and no one else has had your exact experiences, your thoughts, and your interests. So don't get sucked into using cliches, common quotes, or unoriginal statements. It's not about writing what you think the admissions committee members want to hear, such as, I want to be a doctor because I want to help people, or I've always dreamed of becoming a doctor. Let your personal statement highlight what makes you unique as an applicant, how your personal qualities complement the profession, and what skills and key competencies you can bring to the entering class. Overall, it's important to consider what experiences and skills distinguish you from other applicants. So you always need to be keeping in mind that admissions committees are going through hundreds, if not thousands, of PA personal statements. What's going to make your statement stand out? What do you have to offer, and how can you contribute to the profession? Now I want to go over 8 common mistakes to avoid in your PA personal statement. So I already mentioned this, but the first one is reciting your CV. All of this information is already available, so make sure you're not just listing things off in your personal statement. Next is casting yourself as the victim. Many people have gone through difficult situations, such as maybe emigrating from another country or suffering an injury. And this can be really powerful to discuss in your personal statement, but only if you can show resilience and ensure that you're not playing the victim. So as a general rule of thumb, be sure that you only include experiences if you can discuss how it shaped you as a person, how you grew from that experience, and how it will help you become a better future physician assistant. The third mistake is showing instead of telling. It's not enough to say statements such as, "I am a good listener," or "my experience shadowing made me compassionate." You need to show, aka demonstrate, how you are a good listener and how the shadowing has helped you become compassionate. Discuss real experiences that can support and provide evidence for any statements that you're going to make in your personal statement. The fourth mistake is failing to create a standout opening sentence and paragraph. The opening sentence in your PA personal statement is the hook for your entire essay. So if it's not enticing, unique, and memorable, then you risk your entire essay blending in with the thousands of other applicants and ending up at the bottom of the pile. Your opening sentence and paragraph need to be engaging, and you want to create a sense of desire so that admissions committee members won't want to put down your statement. They should want to continue reading to find out the rest of your story. Remember, admissions committees tend to read these essays very quickly, so if you don't grab their attention right away, your essay will be quickly forgotten. The next mistake is failing to have a strong conclusion. So a strong concluding paragraph not only sums up the main points of your previous paragraphs, but it should also end on an engaging note. You want to leave the admissions committee wanting to learn more about you, and this makes them more likely to call you for an interview. Another mistake is relying on cliches. So the purpose of your PA personal statement is to stand out, not to blend in. So don't use cliches and popular quotes that are really tired and dry. Make sure that you're being original and using your own thoughts instead of the thoughts of others. Another common issue is failing to reflect during your personal statement. Any experience that you describe in your personal statement should be followed by thoughtful reflection. So you can't simply state that you worked as a research assistant in a lab and contributed to a publication. Think about why you want to discuss an experience in the first place, and always be answering, why was it significant, what did you learn from it, and how will it help you in your career as a physician assistant. Another common mistake is grammatical errors and spelling mistakes. Your PA personal statement has to be free from all errors and mistakes. Keep in mind that this statement is a direct reflection of who you are as a person. Mistakes only indicate that you rushed your statement, that you're not detail-oriented, and that you're not really invested in your potential career. An excellent PA personal statement has been through many revisions and have had multiple reviewers. It's a really good idea to seek professional help, not only to ensure that your statement is free from these errors, but also so that you can receive personalized feedback to ensure that you're putting your best self forward. Okay, so now I'm going to read you 2 PA personal statement examples so you can understand what makes these statements great as you begin working on your own personal statement. So PA personal statement example number 1. During my kindergarten graduation, I walked on stage and gave my exit speech. When I grew up, I want to be a teacher because it's easy. Reflecting back, I see the comedy in my naivety, as every profession has its own unique challenges. I had no intention to pursue medicine, as I often had a sense of jealousy towards the field. Growing up, my mother was also attending school, first undergraduate, then medical school. Exposed to the rigor and competition of higher education, she felt the need to share the importance of dedicating my time to education. While my classmates had work-free weekends, I spent some time completing extra homework assigned by my mother. Initially, I misinterpreted her teachings as favoritism for studies over spending our days indulging in games. My passion to become a physician assistant took root the day my grandmother fell from the top of a ladder. My mother shouted for my help with 2 simple tasks: grab a blanket and call 911. Trapped by fear and hesitation, I was unable to react. This response may seem understandable. However, I was my harshest critic and felt shame for my inability to aid. Sitting in the hospital waiting room, I reflected on my actions and vowed to never again be a mere observer. With this experience, my outlook on the medical field began to change from that of jealousy to intrigue. I started to understand that my mother's intentions were not to spend less time with me, but rather she aspired to be in a position where she could offer herself to support others, an attribute I strive to emulate. My kindergarten dreams to teach were expanded to embody care and compassion with goals to empower and provide protection to others feeling helpless. Aware of my lack of knowledge pertaining to handling trauma, I enrolled in an emergency medical response course that equipped me with the skills to handle unforeseen situations and the strength to grow from criticism. Others questioned my ability to complete this physically rigorous course, given that my stature is a mere 4 feet and 9 inches. Using this criticism as motivation, I excelled in the course and partook in a 12-hour responder shift. This exhilarating experience strengthened my ambition to study medicine, as my interests lie in the shortcomings of human design. As an emergency medical responder, I felt qualified to take care of my grandmother who had developed Alzheimer's. Having younger siblings, I am accustomed to watching over others. However, caring for someone suffering from disease requires a great state of patience and serenity. When her memories began to slip away, I felt uneasy trying to converse about false stories and recollections. As I spent more time with her, I became accustomed to quick thinking and no longer felt nervous or scared. I was able to speak with her about any topic and noticed an overall improvement in my confidence. My role as a caregiver tested my ability to handle stressful situations as I learned to deal with feelings of both frustration and anxiety, improving my compassion and understanding of others. Losing my grandmother sooner than anticipated fueled my drive to provide quality care. Physician assistants require more than academic knowledge. Additionally, keen characteristics of sociability, emotional and mental strength, and the ability to educate. I have been fortunate to have adopted these lessons and skills. In an effort to pay these gifts forward by healing, supporting, and teaching, I began to shadow a physician assistant in internal medicine. My experiences along my grandmother are not unique to me. Through shadowing, I have seen various forms of physical and emotional trauma that patients face. However, unlike my grandmother, not everyone has a support system. When it comes to dealing with such obstacles, I have a passion to serve as a guide, always trying to consider different perspectives. Some may see my empathetic nature as a weakness, but in a healthcare setting, it is my greatest strength. When rooming patients at the doctor's office, I would converse and inquire about not only their medical concerns, but their feelings and experiences. When nervous patients thanked me for making them feel comfortable, and patients struggling emotionally held my hand for comfort, I knew I had succeeded in passing on both strength and encouragement. Although I was raised in a household where education was prioritized over indulgences, I matured to form my own beliefs. Life is not about choosing between learning and pleasure, but rather intertwining the two. I have found a field of study that to me is both a sweet and bitter indulgence, but gratifying nonetheless. Medicine is balanced by both miraculous and shattering moments, each requiring their own forms of nurturing. Negative occurrences do not weaken my belief in medicine, but rather serve as my motivation to continuously learn and be active in political and research-based medicine. Similarly, positive patient outcomes serve as a reminder for why I cannot let setbacks get in the way of working towards progress. I promise to use my knowledge and experience to foster a tangible outcome of health and manifest in valuable relationships. So, what aspects make this statement really great? So firstly, the statement utilizes strong transitional sentences to link paragraphs, which creates an easy-to-read essay with excellent flow. At the end of each experience, this student does an excellent job of reflecting. They discuss what they learned, why it was significant, how it will help them in a career in medicine. Instead of discussing a variety of different experiences, the student focused on quality experiences over quantity. This allows each experience, whether the experience with their grandmother or their experience as an emergency medical responder, to really develop throughout the essay, ultimately creating a unifying theme that ties together well in the conclusion. The essay really comes to life due to the inclusion of details that describe experiences and interactions that were significant to the student, such as their time spent with their grandmother and patient interactions during shadowing. So now I want to read you the PA personal statement example number 2. My heart pounded blood into my ears as my hands fumbled across the keyboard. My eyes darted back and forth between the screen and the wall behind it, attempting to escape. After an eternity, the pointer finally aimed and clicked. It was good news. I was accepted. I gasped and held in a small scream, even though I was alone. Quickly dialing, I wiped tears of relief as I plopped down on the bed. I got into UVA, Mom. A small gasp, followed by excited laughter, and then, okay, I have to get back to work. I wish I was there. I wish the same. But her work 7 hours away was the only source of income, and it forced me to live alone for most of my senior year of high school. At first, it was fine. I kept busy with college applications. Then I got into a car accident and realized I did not have anyone who could help me. It was daunting to be in such an unfamiliar and grim situation, but I knew I had to move forward. After a few deep breaths, a call to the police, the insurance company, and a few tears, I rattled home in my dinged car. I often despised having so much responsibility, from simple tasks such as cooking dinner to futile efforts in battling a mice infestation. However, as I overcame the challenges, independence became a source of clear confidence. My college acceptance was meaningful because it assured me that with hard work, I could accomplish anything, even when support was not nearby. Independence is a significant part of my identity today, but through my undergraduate experiences, I recognized the prevalence and irrefutable significance of community. I developed my passion to become a physician assistant with the capacity to make decisions and rely on relationships to guide my choice. Throughout my first semester in college, I only used myself as a resource in navigating both academics and personal life. When my grades did not reflect the hours of studying I put in, I begrudgingly joined a study group as a last-ditch attempt to improve my marks. To my surprise, discussing and asking questions helped me recognize essential ideas I would have missed and allowed me to have a more extensive understanding of the topic. Connections we made from bits of knowledge, including basic sciences to entire functional systems, fascinated me, and I recognized the benefits of sharing and combining information, especially in regard to the human body. This experience led me to become a teaching assistant in biology, which required me to not only be confident in my own knowledge, but also to have skills in sharing what I knew with students who were in similar situations. I encouraged students to ask questions and to discuss with peers before forming an answer, which benefited their learning and ultimately improved grades throughout the semester. Realizing the importance of collaboration motivated me to seek novel opportunities to connect with diverse types of people in healthcare. In the summer after second year, I traveled to Cape Town, South Africa, where I studied hypertension and the impact of a recently built clinic next to a township called Khayelitsha. A shared conversation with an elderly woman revealed that although she was diagnosed with hypertension at the clinic, she had not been back since. She preferred to walk several more blocks to the traditional healer who made herbal medicines rather than to visit a professional doctor at the new nearby clinic. It was difficult for me to understand why she made that decision, and to some degree, my education held me back from accepting the validity of her choice. There were clear disparities between the seemingly rational choices and the actual decisions made by patients in healthcare. After subsequent research, I found that the clinic operated mostly in English, including instructions for prescriptions and lifestyle changes for managing hypertension. Local dialects were unable to be translated by doctors who came from larger cities. At first look, the elderly woman made what some would consider the wrong choice, but with further investigation, it was evident that she chose what was best for her. From this experience, I realized that I wanted to be an effective physician assistant who takes culture and community into consideration to provide the best care possible for a patient. The qualities that I value the most are best represented in a physician assistant: collaboration, intelligence, community, and awareness. Healthcare is fundamentally patient-centered and requires an immense amount of trust in not only the physician, but also the entire healthcare team. Working together to recognize differences between each patient and communicating with other professionals to make a collective decision is crucial in gaining confidence and thus providing effective treatments. Living alone at 18 years old, it seemed like I overcame all adversities on my own. Now, one of the greatest challenges I face is attending PA school, and I have no doubt that the invaluable relationships I form will reinforce my aspirations to become a capable physician assistant. So let's get into what aspects make this statement great. This student does an excellent job of discussing challenges or hardships that they face, such as their car crash and slipping grades, without ever playing the victim. They used any challenges as fuel to work harder, to improve, and to be better as a person and a future professional. They admit initial missteps or personal struggles, but most importantly, they discuss what they did to turn their situation around or what they learned from a particular encounter. The student conveys their personality quite nicely in this essay by reflecting on how they felt at different points throughout their journey, in addition to what they learned. The statement also highlights a variety of desirable qualities that a physician assistant would possess, such as collaboration, communication, reflection, and maturity. Now, if you still want another PA personal statement example, then check out the link to our blog that I've included for you in the description of this video. So overall, I hope that you found the video helpful, so please make sure that you subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you have any questions that I can help you with. How did you decide to become a PA instead of another profession? Let me know in the comment section. So that's going to be it for today. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.